Welcome. I'm going to walk you through the process of compiling your annotated bibliography for your art research project. All right, so the annotated bibliography, the goals are to complete an annotated bibliography for your artist and artwork, which contains annotations or summaries of the information found, 1, in your textbook about your artist and artwork, 2, on the museum, the web page for the museum which owns your artwork. And remember, for this one, you must use the URL from the original list. Don't just Google it, find that original URL. And 3, you're going to pick either Oxford Art Online or Smart History and read or watch about your artist and artwork. You're going to include citations for each of these sources in your final annotated bibliography. And you're going to learn to use the MLA citation machine to generate a citation for the web page for the museum which owns your artwork. So again, you're going to look back on the original list where you found your artwork on Canvas to locate the museum web page address. And you're going to correctly format your annotated bibliography according to the MLA 9 guidelines. All right, annotated bibliography. Create an annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography is a list of sources such as books, articles, and websites about a specific topic. In this case, it's your artwork and your artist. And don't forget to include information about the artist if it's available along with your artwork. Each source is given a citation that includes the author, title, and publication details of the source. Each citation is followed by a brief, so this should be 4 to 8 sentences, descriptive and evaluative paragraph which summarizes the information in the source. And this paragraph is called the annotation. And for each source, you're going to look for unique information, so you're not repeating the same information about the artist or artwork in each annotation. It's important to have different information so you can include it in your final visual presentation. Each annotation should be 150 to 250 words long minimum. And there are 3 annotations total. So your annotated bibliography should be 450 to 750 words long minimum. And this includes the citations. Remember, you already wrote your first annotation on the information in your textbook for the first part of this art research project. So all you have to do is go back to Canvas or go back to your original file and copy and paste that. You should copy and paste that first annotation into this project and hand it in again. Don't worry about it, just hand it in again. All right, the purpose of the annotation is to help you accumulate knowledge about your artist and artwork so that you can create your visual presentation on your artist and artwork. The annotated bibliography will contain 3 sources using current MLA 9th edition citation style standards. And again, I already said it, but I'm going to repeat it. Number 1, the information in your textbook. You've already done this. All you have to do is find it, copy and paste it. Number 2, the web page for the museum, which owns your artwork. And you're going to find the URL for that on the original assignment. And 3, you're going to pick either the Oxford Art Online database or Smart History, whichever one you like better. Make sure you check them both so you're going to get the best one. The goal of the annotated bibliography is to help you learn about your artist and artwork so that you can create an informative visual presentation about them. The annotated bibliography should follow the current MLA guidelines. And for more help, you can get this URL off of the PDF, which is in Canvas. And you do not need to hand in an image with this assignment. So no image is necessary with this assignment. Please note, different museums, your textbook, Smart History, Oxford Art Online, and Art Store all call different artworks by different titles. So I was really kind of amused to see that on the Louvre's website. So that's the museum that owns the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, which is, probably the most famous painting in the world. They call the painting the Mona Lisa, spelled with 2 N's, or La Joconde. But I just thought that was really interesting that for such an iconic artwork, they have so many different names and spellings for it. So just watch out for that. Also, it depends on what language. The museum might be in a different country. So different languages use different titles for artworks, and the artists too. So for example, your textbook called Titian's Assumption of the Virgin is called Tiziano Basilio Assunta on the website where the piece is located. Sorry about my bad Italian. Titian is called Tiziano Basilio since the site is in Italy. So that's why I already gave you the URL for the museum, so you don't have to worry about finding it. So when you search for your artworks, when you're doing research later on for the annotated bibliography, right now, if you can't find it, try searching by the artist's name alone. Sometimes artists are also called by different names, so try to search as broadly as possible for your artwork if you're having trouble locating information about it. All right, so let's start with the Oxford Art Online or your Smart History annotation. And part 1, you're going to find and annotate a source from either Oxford Art Online or Smart History about your artwork and artist. And you're going to open your Google Doc. So hopefully you already have a Google Doc called Art 110 Annotated Bibliography, or a Word doc. And in order to write your annotation, you need to read each source. So you need to find the Oxford Art Online and Smart History entries, read them both, pick the best one, and select one of them. Select the article you feel would be most helpful in creating your visual presentation on your artist. To find the Oxford Art Online entry for your artist and artwork, there's a PDF directions, or there's a short video on the Canvas site, so you can find that. And to find Smart History, just go to Smart History website, which is, you'll find it, just Google Smart History and search for both your artist and the artist and artwork. If you're viewing the PDF of this, which is on Canvas, you can click on these links. You're going to select which entry you want to annotate, which means summarize. And you want to really think about, select unique or different information about the artist and the artwork from each source. So you don't just repeat the same information in your annotations. You want to have different information in each annotation so that you can pull from that to make your visual presentation. All right, so like the first annotation you wrote about the information in your textbook, please take notes as you read and summarize the information in each source. Again, this summary will be the basis for your annotation. You're going to focus on the W's, who made it, who owns it, what type of object is it? Is it 2-dimensional, like a painting or sculpture? 3-dimensional, like a sculpture or ceramic artwork? Is it a building? What's it made of? How large is it? When was it made? What year? Where was the piece originally made way back then? And where is it located now? Why was the piece made? And how was it used in the past? So think about that as you're summarizing. You can also think about facts about the artist. So an interesting overview of the artist is also going to be useful for your visual presentation. Of course, we may not know about the artist. We may not know who the artist was, or it may be too long ago. But if you can find that information, you want to make sure you include it in your annotation. Select unique or different information about the artist and artwork from each source. Don't just repeat the same information. All right, so for your final visual presentation, you will need some information about your artist, if known, and your artwork. So include some information about your artist in your annotation. And remember, look for unique and different information on each source. Don't just repeat the same information. This will make your final visual presentation much more interesting. All right, so you're going to create a citation for your source. If you use the Oxford Art Online entry for your artwork, just click on the little pencil icon to generate your citation. And again, you can check out the directions on Canvas. If you use Smart History, you can copy and paste the citation from the bottom of the page and add it to your Google document or your Word documents. And scroll to the bottom of the Smart History page to locate the citation. It usually says cite this page as : and you want to just copy everything after the as : and that will be your citation. All right, now we're going to move on to your museum webpage annotation. So this is number 2 on your list, or number 3, however we're looking at it. Number 1 is the textbook. Number 2 is Smart History or Oxford Online. And number 3 is the museum webpage. Getting started with your museum webpage annotation. All right, go back to the original list, find the web address for the museum webpage about your artwork. Important to get credit, you must use the web page I have listed on the original assignment page. So don't be lazy, because you'll get 0 if you don't use that web page. It's important to me that you look at the web page for the museum that owns the piece, not just some random web page that some fan made, but the actual place that the artwork actually lives. This museum owns the artwork you're writing about. The artwork is part of their museum collection. Read the information on the web page and watch or listen to any additional sources like a video or audio clip on the web page. Make sure you scroll all the way down. They often have a lot of links to the artist and other information that's really useful. Similar to the first annotation you wrote about the information in your textbook, please take notes as you read. Summarize the information in each source, and the summary will be the basis for your annotation. Look for unique or different facts. Make sure to watch any videos on the page. Read all the information on the museum webpage. After you finish taking notes, write your final annotation. All right, and now you need a citation. So this is the one that's going to be a little bit challenging. Some web pages on a museum may have a citation at the very bottom. You can scroll all the way down and check, but often they do not. So you're going to have to use the you're going to have to generate the citation for your museum web page. And to generate it, you're going to use the MLA citation generator, citation machine. And there's a video on how to use this on the Canvas page. So I'm going to let you watch that and copy and paste your annotation and your citation when you're finished to your Google document or Word document called Art 110 Annotated Bibliography. Now you're going to format. So now you've got all 3 annotations and all 3 citations. And you're going to put them together in the right form. Collect everything on 1 page or 2 pages, however long it is. It doesn't have to be 1 page. It's going to be called your annotated bibliography. All right, and so here's an example of mine. I put the student name, my name, who's teaching the class, the date. You're going to want to center your title, no quotations or italics. It's going to say Art, Research, Project, Annotated Bibliography. And then you start with the annotations. So the first thing that we're going to see each time is the citation. And everything is double spaced. There's no extra spaces. It's all just double spaced. And the first line is at the margin. The second line is indented. And then the annotation itself is indented yet again. If this only had 1 line, you would just then indent for the annotation. Your entries should be in alphabetical order by the author's last name. So mine is going to go John's, and then Con, and then the textbook will be after this. I'll show you that on the second page. So again, museum webpage citation is here. The Smart History citation is here. And then as we go to the next page, you see the textbook citation. So here's the Kleiner citation. Remember, this should have your artist and pages in it, not Jasper John's, right? Because nobody else is turning in Jasper John's, just me. So this should have your artist and pages in the textbook. And then this is the citation. You guys already wrote this annotation. You already have the citation. You just need to copy and paste this from the first assignment. And remember, everything is alphabetical by the author's last name. So you can, just take a look at how this looks. I also have a sample on the Canvas page along with the PDF, so you can take a look at it. 1-inch margins, use a font like Times New Roman, 12 point, and you should be good to go. All right, so go back to the assignment, copy and paste your first annotation. This is the one from the textbook. And then place them in alphabetical order according to the last name of the author or the first name in the web page title. Format your document according to the instructions. So again, if you look at this PDF on the Canvas site, you can click on this. There's some instructions on the CSUN library page. And again, that's what it should look like. Right, and then you want to output a PDF file to turn in. So the only kind of file that I'm going to accept is a PDF. And so how should I submit this to Canvas? You should create a PDF of your annotated bibliography and turn it in for this assignment. If you're using Google Docs, you go to File, Download PDF, and you'll probably find the PDF in your Downloads folder on your computer. Don't turn in a PowerPoint, a doc, a Pages, anything. For all these programs, you can output a PDF, and that's what you should turn in. To me, the reason for this is if the computer I'm grading your work on doesn't have that program, I'm not going to be able to open a Pages file or some other kind of file. I do not send me a link, a Google Docs link, because I'm not going to log on to Google Docs in order to read this. You guys need to output a PDF and then upload that to Canvas. And all right, so no credit for any file format except a PDF. Thanks for accommodating me on that. Right, and here it is. If you're on Google Docs, you go to File, Download, PDF document. And again, you'll probably find this in your downloads. All right, see you on Canvas. Let me know if you have any questions.